Yeah, I can take the giant record thing away. All right, Greg, go ahead.
Well, just you all received a copy of minutes from last meeting. Are there any changes that anybody has identified as necessary?
Okay,
If not, do we have a motion to accept?
approve.
Okay,
motion.
okay, approved.
All right,
All in
great.
favor?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, our first guests tonight are Laura and Bev. They are the creative duo behind Unlocking Connecticut. Laura does the pictures and Bev does the words. They're bloggers, Instagram influencers. They're coming up on 20,000 Instagram followers, and they can talk a little bit more about some of their statistics. They have a newsletter that goes to 5,500 subscribers. Connecticut Tourism had them speak in December when they all got when they had their big conference. Tucker was there, and that's how we kind of learned about them at first. And I've had some great conversations and emails, and they have a segment they can talk a little bit more called Day Tripping. And in Tucker and I talking about it, she thinks that maybe we should evaluate it as something that TDAC would like to fund. And then we can, kind of control the process and work with these creative geniuses here. So Bev and Laura, why don't you introduce yourself, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty on what the three of us have talked about, but I want them to hear from you.
Sure thing. Well, I'm Laura. Hi, I'm Bev. We've been Unlocking Connecticut for almost 8 years. We started as Unlocking Litchfield, only covering Litchfield County. And then we got a lot of requests from Fairfield County, so we expanded to Unlocking Fairfield. And then more requests were coming from all over the state. So we were like, let's just make it easy and change our name to Unlocking Connecticut. Yeah. And so we've been doing this for, like Laura said, 8 years. We do a lot of different types of posts, but we've been basically promoting businesses around the state and tourism for the last 8 years. Yeah. We do full features on businesses. We do is like we're considering today a day tripping post, which is a lot of different businesses in one post. Yeah, we do a lot on our social media. So Instagram, like Laura said, we're almost about 20,000 followers and about 7,000 more on other platforms. We try to keep it light and fun, not so serious all the time, while still getting our message out and promoting businesses and places to visit. And that's basically who we are.
So
Great.
I've put a link into their to their website, specifically the page that highlights some of the other day trips that they have done. And what my thought would be to, when we have a tentative date scheduled and a rain date, would be to have them come and visit Glass House, Grace Farms, do one segment just covering downtown, Historical Society, Carriage Barn, Powerhouse Theater, Nature Center, and of course the library. And then with the hope of, when that gets up and running and we're all able to share it and see how it does, maybe have them come back in the fall, and then they could contract with individual businesses after we've sort of introduced the community and some of our great assets. Their price is very reasonable. It would be $1,600 for that whole visit, which is well within kind of our purview. And I even offered that I would drive them around to save time. They could be in the back of my car working on the next scripts. We would definitely need to, they would walk us through what we would need to provide in terms of scripts, so they would have stuff to play off. But they do the photography, and there's even a little video segment that goes along with it. I feel like it would be a lot of legs. So I open it up to you guys to ask Bev and Laura any questions.
I had a question. Do you have any examples of where you've done this in other towns and the response the town has received, either in
I think Laura sent the link out to our day tripping posts. We've done 42 of them so far. So The feedback's been amazing.
Amazing. We don't necessarily hear from the town. It's more from the businesses and from our viewers who look to us as inspiration for their next day out with their girlfriends, with their partners. And businesses often say to us that they had customers come in and say that they're there because they saw it on our site, which is music to our ears. So yeah, it's generally good
Excellent.
feedback.
They're our most popular posts to date. So that and our gift guides.
Cool.
I think what's great is, we're not like we're a destination town, but we're not an overnight town necessarily. And, the majority of their audience is coming from Connecticut, New York State, obviously skew female. And we know female are the big influencers in picking where families go and all that sort of stuff. So I feel like our audiences match up. The other thing I thought, after we do this possibly in May, was, we've talked about Ottocast to death. And I think right now only Glass House and Historical Society, is that correct, are on Ottocast? I thought it would be fun if we could finally get everybody over the finish line and have Bev and Laura be sort of the narrators, right? We provide the script because they do speaking. So in the future, I thought that might really bring our Ottocast together. But that's in the future. But I thought that would be interesting.
Sounds best.
Any other thoughts or questions before we let Bev and Laura go?
One more quick question. What do your followers respond to most? Like the retail, is it the cultural? Where do you see them? What are they looking for? Restaurants?
It's all
It is
all over
all
the place. I think the
Okay.
main thing is just they want new places to discover that they haven't been to before. So it doesn't matter what category really, but restaurants and boutiques seem to be really popular.
Yeah, but they definitely look to us for, nature walks, hikes, culture, art.
Trying new things like glass blowing,
Sure.
trying curling, like
Yeah.
we expose them to new things that maybe they haven't done before.
BJ?
We have a big car event that happens 3 times a year called Caffeine and Carburetors. That too might be a fun thing for you to be able to see just how our town transforms. So it's
Definitely.
exciting.
That sounds
Cool.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you done events like that where it's like,
We
know.
did a we've done a car show at Lime Rock. They had us come and
Yeah.
promote theirs.
Mhm.
And then we also did like the Sycamore restaurant in Bethel in the summertime has the car hop with the old cars. So we went and showed eating
Love
at the
it.
restaurant and then going to look at the cars. So
Yeah.
great,
Yeah.
great.
Greg, do you have a question?
Yeah. Has Krista Carr been in touch with them? I would like to put her in
Krista-
touch if,
Yeah, Krista and I, actually, when I first heard about them, I was talking to Krista that, hey, hopefully we can get these ladies here. And obviously, Glass House would be the first stop probably on the trip. And it could be that, TDAP covers round 1 and then we can, they can come back and contract individually on some of the deeper dives.
okay.
All right. Are we all good?
Yep.
All right, ladies, we're gonna let you
Awesome.
go. I will circle
Okay.
back with you tomorrow, but thank you
Perfect.
for your time
Thank
on a
you.
Thursday
Thanks, everyone.
night.
thank
Take
you.
care.
everyone.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
So do we need to vote whether we ask the first selectman to cover the 1,600? Is that how it kind of works?
Yeah.
Do we
Take a
want
motion.
any discussion amongst ourselves?
No, I thought that they're great. That it's it's such a fun segment. You had given me that Instagram link and oh my gosh, they're doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean, I was blown, the 19.6 thousand followers on Instagram. And I think their email, I think, it could be a great way to get it introduced and, get them excited about New Canaan. So
I'm a little confused. The 1,600 gets what?
that
Yes.
gets them to come here for a day and they will visit that list of places, or we can noodle around with the list. They'll visit each place. We'll give them a little, bullet points about the great parts of each one of those places. They'll take pictures, then they'll write a full blog post, and there's even a little video summary segment.
Okay, okay.
And what's great is then we can obviously be sharing it, all that, it's got great legs beyond just, they'll expose it to their email subscriber, Instagram.
Can we get the video? Can we get the live video?
I think they just put it up on YouTube.
Okay.
That's part of the package.
Okay, great, because we'll want to pull it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
100%. Oh, wait, someone's in the. Okay, so I would like to put up a vote to see if we would like to fund $1,600, or like to request that the first selectman fund $1,600 to have the Unlocking Connecticut group come to New Canaan and visit 8 of our top assets. So that's my proposal. Does anyone want to second it?
Yeah.
second it.
All right, Dan,
Yeah.
all in favor?
Here.
Aye.
Okay. All right, good.
Laura,
Yes,
quick question. It sounds like this $1,600 will get us these 8 identified venues or activities. Do you know what a subsequent spot would be if we did something else around some of our key events?
yeah, so they do, they basically, it's $200 a location, and they do
Okay.
up to 6 to 8. They have, a very thought out ad package.
Yep.
They have website ads, social media blast, $150 per post, newsletter item, $100 a post. As I said, each place is $200. So I think they're very reasonably priced. And what I would hope is if we get some good traffic with their kind of top line New Canaan, that then local businesses could engage with them on their own.
Got it.
But
Okay.
once they've sort of put New Canaan on the map with their, with their audience, then we can take it from there.
Great.
Okay. All right, thank you. And as I said, in the chat, I put their Unlocking Connecticut, if you guys want to browse around and have any other thoughts. Next, we have our friend Hillary Whitman from the Carriage Barn. Hillary, I am going to make you.
Okay.
What do I do here? Participants. What do I do to make someone, oh, here, maybe up here.
Do you want to share screen?
No, I want, here it is, make co-host. Okay, Hillary, you are now a co-host, so you can share your screen.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. So thank you for inviting me. And I wanted to just give an update and overview on the Carriage Barn. I know a lot of you are pretty familiar with the Carriage Barn, but the last year, as you may have noticed, we've just done really a big push on expanding our programming. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about that and kind of where we're headed. So just an overview of the Carriage Barn, and our mission is, promoting the visual arts, enriching the community, and then operating the actual Carriage Barn Arts Center venue. We've been there in the building 45 years. Our exhibits are kind of our we have some major established exhibits that rotate throughout the year. And then other activities taking place in the gallery, but we're open to the public, free of charge. We're open currently Wednesdays through Sundays, but definitely lots of other things happening outside of those hours, special events and stuff. We have about 500 members, about half New Canaan residents. That's probably higher now, actually. The town owns the building, the Carriage Barn, the New Canaan Society for the Arts, which is, the nonprofit that operates the Carriage Barn, covers, all the operating expenses and, associated with the building. And then partner with the town to do any, major upgrades or, required renovations to the building. Just to quickly run through our major exhibits. We kind of kick off each season in September with our annual members show. This is a huge show with, close to, over 150 artists, each exhibiting a piece of their work. So it really kind of showcases the whole membership and is just a variety of mediums. Then our Deck the Walls exhibit, which we started just maybe 5 or 6 years ago, has become incredibly popular, kind of like a New Canaan holiday tradition. We really involve the whole community through the wreath auction and having other organizations and businesses and local designers create these one-of-a-kind wreaths. And then we do, it's just a 2-week exhibit, but we do like tons of special events and programs and classes. And we have small artwork that's also for sale throughout the exhibit. So that's just really been a great success. Our photography show is one of our major juried exhibits. So it is open to artists from, who beyond our members, artists from outside of this area who submit to the exhibit. Each year it's juried by a somewhat prominent either photographers such as this is Platon, who juried it last year, or someone else in the photography world. This year, the exhibit just closed. It was juried by the director of the Bruce Silverstein Gallery, which is a photography gallery in Chelsea. Coming up, opening next week, is our exhibit with the New Canaan High School. And we have done this now for 10 years, an exhibit that showcases the work of our New Canaan High School students. And it's so impressive. And it's just a, great way to have these kids sort of see their work presented in a really professional environment and with, an opening reception where we bring in musicians from the high school come and play, and their awards. And then we do programs, we try and do a lot of programs for high school and even, middle school and younger students during that exhibit to just, further kind of connect it with them. And also all of our exhibits throughout the year, the high school teachers bring the kids over to the Carriage Barn quite often. It used to really just be the art teachers who would bring them over to the shows, but we've had some of the writing teachers bring them in to sort of like inspiration for a prompt for an assignment that they're working on. So we really have a great connection with the high school, and we try and connect with all the other schools as well, but being right there in the park, it's great. Spectrum is our other big juried show that's in the spring. It's our contemporary art show. We've really kind of been focusing on doing a lot of programming around that exhibit that's sort of design focused. So bringing in interior designers, art advisors, Rings End was involved one year, and incorporating like their paint line that they were really looking to sort of promote. And it was just a nice tie-in with kind of choosing art for your home and, and design. So that is coming up in the spring. And then Art in the Windows, which is one of our favorites that we work with Laura on and do downtown. Usually it's about 2 or 3 weeks starting in early June. And we just have such great participation from all the stores and businesses in town. I think last year we had like 70 locations that we had art exhibited in the windows. And then we do a downtown kickoff event, which last year we expanded to sort of being a day-long arts festival downtown in that South Avenue, street area, which we will be doing again this year. And then we do keep, time in our schedule to do special exhibits. So either kind of outside of these annual exhibits, opportunities that come up, or just special things like the Capturing New Canaan exhibit that we did, which was sort of a plein air outdoor art making weekend, followed up with an exhibit of all those works that depict or are inspired by different locations around New Canaan. And we've partnered with Waveney Park Conservancy on that last year. Preservation Connecticut was involved as well. The sculpture trail, of course, that we've done twice now with the Land Trust, and a special exhibit we did this past fall tied in with Caffeine and Carburetors when it was up in Waveney Park. That was a car themed exhibit, which was great. So, we definitely kind of mix up those regular things that we've been doing for many years with, special exhibits. I did want to mention the renovation that we completed in 2021, which was, a major project for our organization. We worked really closely with the town on kind of expanding the original plan for the renovation, which was just to bring the bathrooms up to being ADA compliant. And we're able to, do some other really important improvements on the facility. So we ended up taking over a kind of caretaker's apartment that was not really being used for the past few years, incorporating that into our space. So we gained a new multi-purpose room that's shown here. It's used as a classroom, which is what's going on here. But we have after-school art classes for kids. We have a group of our member photographers who use the room every 2 weeks for sort of a critique session. It's a meeting space that we use. It's kind of overflow office space for our volunteers and our employees. And it's just really been transformative and allowed us to do so much more because previously we were really just limited to the gallery itself. We also installed air conditioning, which, believe it or not, we never had in the carriage barn. So we now, the gallery can be active year round. We can keep things going in the carriage barn year round. And then we just expanded our entryway. These are obviously not the most professional pictures, but it really makes a huge difference. On the bottom, it's sort of, that used to be, the entrance into the carriage barn when we couldn't have the big barn doors open. So now walking in, it's this much more welcoming, open, reception area with the office, and then just, you're kind of right in the gallery right away. So that has been really exciting and just a great update to the facility. So, at the time that we were completing that renovation, it was a good time for us as an organization to really review what our strategic kind of goals were and how, what was the way forward for us as an organization to just keep growing. So we reviewed, our major goals with, financial and development, our operations, marketing and outreach, and just, how we could continue to grow, and really came to focus on programming and expanding our programming as really being the way that we were going to, expand our audience, involve the community more, grow revenue, cultivate donors. So our strategy for programming, everything that we do, it falls into one of these three categories. So our educational programs, which are really to sort of further the mission of our organization, just make use of our facility, generate revenue. Community and entertainment programs, which are, those are really mission driven with enriching the community through visual and performing arts. So these include, concerts, bringing in speakers, artists to do demonstrations, that type of thing. And then our sort of events that fall under more fundraising or donor cultivation. So that might be panel discussions, taking groups of our members to on artist studio visits or to other arts organizations in the area, or even into New York City to see, have a curator-led tour of another exhibit. So the educational programs we've been doing, and these are really all pretty new. I mean, we used to do things here and there, but really not on a consistent basis. But we're doing a number of after-school programs for art programs for young kids. Tuesday night, we've been doing a drop-in sketching night, which has been incredibly popular. Flower arranging workshops, just things that are kind of, more about expressing your creativity in a lot of different ways. And then, talks with artists in the gallery. Some of the community and entertainment events, we just did a fantastic farm to barn brunch that we did with the New Canaan Farmers Market. That was so much fun. Everybody loved it. Just can't wait for the next one. We're doing an open mic night. We've been doing Saturday morning yoga, concerts. Monthly, we're doing free family drop-in events. So, this is really drawing families with really young kids. And, those are free events where we have an activity for the kids each month that kind of ties into whatever the show is in the gallery. And a lot of times we'll partner with another organization on those. So a few times Rebecca from the New Canaan Library has come and done sort of a story time and a craft that ties into the exhibit. And we've worked with other organizations too. So that's really built, we really didn't have these families with young kids. We just weren't on their radar. So that's been a way for us to really connect with them and then have them learn about everything else we have going on. And then the fundraising and donor cultivation, as I mentioned, kind of, special, unique opportunities for people to, who are really interested in learning about the arts. And then I wanted to talk about our New Canaan Live series, which is really exciting. And what we had proposed, we applied for the ARPA funds from the town of New Canaan and proposed doing this series. And the goal was to unite the New Canaan community through a vibrant celebration of creativity and creativity and connections spanning all ages, to involve residents as participants, performers, professionals, viewers, artists, amateurs, and appreciators for the arts. So the events in this series, some are already underway, but most of them are kind of geared more towards the second part of the year. But these include things that will be taking place or are taking place at the Carriage Barn, but also, out in the community. So live performances, hands-on art making events. We've, been getting some programs off the ground, not just for kids, but also for seniors. We're working, the Staying Put in New Canaan has come to the Carriage Barn a few times this year with groups. The Waveney Care Center has come in with their residents in their day program to visit our exhibits. We have a group, many other community groups that, either will come host their meetings at the Carriage Barn and also take it as an opportunity to maybe, learn from one of our artists or members while they're there. And then we'll be doing some larger community-wide arts festivals. So I mentioned Art in the Windows, which is in June, and part of that, or during the Art in the Windows, we're also going to be bringing Make Music Day to New Canaan. Make Music Day is a nationwide celebration and initiative, really, where the Connecticut, it's been going on for many years, but Connecticut has participated in it for the last 8 years, I think, and are up to now about 15 cities and towns throughout Connecticut are part of it. So we are going to be bringing that to New Canaan and working with businesses downtown, every other organization in New Canaan that wants to participate and host, be a venue for live music. But it's all about having free, open to the public music performances. And it ranges from, a full-on band performing to more of a like impromptu kind of pickup song circle or, children's, singing event or something. So it's really just about, getting people to participate and being inspired. And that's on June 21st, which is the longest day of the year. It's the solstice. It's a Wednesday. We have already gotten permission from the police to close down that little section on South Avenue to have that be kind of the headquarters during the day. And then in the evening, the performances will transition more into like some of the restaurants around town and bars that have, live music and stuff like that. And then we're planning an art and music festival, outside the Carriage Barn in Waveney in the fall that will, be kind of in our little section of Waveney Park but also incorporating up by the theater next door. And then just a few of the other kind of downtown opportunities that, we're thinking about and would like to explore and would love your, any of your input or ideas on. But when the new Playhouse opens, doing, a series there with Exhibition on Screen, which are art movies, sort of documentaries that have been really successful in similar theaters in New Haven and, up in, well, all over the country. But, that's something that we would love to explore kind of co-presenting on a, monthly basis. We have done some, worked with some of the restaurants downtown to bring in, showcase artists' work. So continuing to do that. Based on, we had such success working with the farmers market on the brunch that we did, and have talked to them about doing sort of art and artisan days at the farmers market a couple of times a year. And then this series of homes where art lives, we're developing that with Houlihan Lawrence, but are looking to, potentially, expand that and work with more of the real estate offices or even homes that may be on the market to bring art and artists' work in there. And then I just, wanted to talk about our kind of partnerships, because obviously our marketing partnerships have been really important in, with adding so much happening and programs that we need to get people aware of and, participating in. So we have established a great partnership with New Canaan Darien Magazine and have ads running or, free ad space in every one of their issues. And they did a nice feature on the Carriage Barn when we completed the renovation. And then, our community partnerships are so important and have been just a huge way for us to grow and keep the Carriage Barn really relevant. And, we're always open to, and seek out, those partnerships to, invite groups to come host their meetings at the Carriage Barn, or, obviously a lot of groups will have fundraisers or bigger events there, but, we're also always open to having them just come in and use the space for other things, because, it's great for us too, to just have people in there, and then, the business community as well. So that is what's happening at the Carriage Barn. And I'd love to know if there's anything else, you think that we should be doing more of, or ideas of how we can sort of do more out in the community and just get people more aware of everything happening there. I mean, we love our location in the park, but we're definitely kind of off the beaten track and tucked away up there. So, I've just found we really need to do more and varied kinds of programming that will draw people, up there to the space.
Hillary, I've known about all these things you do and see it all. You guys put a lot of stuff on my calendar, but to see it all together is really, really impressive. The strides you've made in the community, the incredible depth of the programming. So it's just, huge asset for all of us, and, appreciate all your hard work and really, brought it into the mainstream. So
Yeah.
we feel very lucky to have, you really as our cultural and artistic,
Yeah.
Anchor tenant, as it were. So.
Yeah, well, what's been really exciting is like, we kind of thought this year would be like a test year, let's do all these things and see what people respond to or what they want. And, thinking, of course, there are going to be things that just didn't really take off, but it really seems like everything that we're putting out there, people want to do, they want their kids to be involved, or they want to come, learn. So it's great. It's just, we're meeting so many interesting people too, people, who are new to New Canaan and are just so excited about, everything that there is to take advantage of.
How can TDAC help you?
I think, I think there are a lot of opportunities. There's so many talented artists, not actually here in New Canaan, but, also in just the greater area. And, I think it would be great to expand on, like, what we did with the sculpture trail that was, those were primarily in the land trust sites, but I would love to, create some more opportunities to, bring art into, downtown New Canaan or more visible locations, throughout Waveney Park in other locations. And, just kind of create that, excitement and diversity, and also just showcase the artists, working here. I think, so many people, when they come into the gallery and see, that, a lot of these artists are from, New Canaan or Stamford or Westport, or, they're right here in our community. And I think that's something we should really celebrate and highlight. So I don't have like a specific idea, but I think, coming up with ways to do that would be great.
BJ, did you have a question?
I think that we could give Hillary a little time to be able to think about a program like the live music or something like that, that we could kind of get behind.
Mhm.
So, perhaps you can think over the next couple of months of, something like that, where, you kind of heard what we said about the people who just came before.
Right.
They had such a specific plan of
Mhm.
what we could do. And, we could be there for you for,
Right.
something that initiative, what you're doing with the children, which you basically went from 0 to 60 in 1 year.
Mhm.
The programs are amazing. And I know that there might be other opportunities, be it summer camps or,
Mhm.
things that maybe you want to give a little thought to.
Yeah. Yeah, and we have been working, or I've, talking more with Phoebe at the Waveney Park Conservancy about, doing more in partnership with them, that could incorporate some outdoor, kind of being outdoor in the park, and then, the arts and, maybe music. And, I just there's tons of opportunity and, yeah, I think, you know, families are excited to, you know, there isn't that much of it going on elsewhere, I think. So, you know, now we're kind of at a point where like when we open a new program, it's like, you know, it could be filled up within a day or two. So,
Jack, did you have a question? Your
Yeah,
hand is up.
yeah, just Hillary, I've been to some of your shows and I just think that they have been great. I enjoy, you know, what you've done. And I also commend you for recognizing and using downtown as a venue. That is really helpful, I think, to the businesses in town. And just one observation about that traffic in town. I don't have an exact statistics, but you know, when you have traffic in town, a great part of it comes from outside of New Canaan.
mhm.
So you're exposing, you know, what you're trying to show to outside of town, which I think is probably great and as a way of promoting our town. But I
Yeah.
commend you with what you've done.
Well, also, I mean, when we have, and there were a few pictures of some of our openings, but, you know, we will easily have 200 to 300 people at our openings. And a lot of them are coming from outside of New Canaan because, you know, the artists exhibiting will bring their friends and their family will come. So often there are people coming, you know, who have not, they haven't been to New Canaan before. Or they've
Right.
never been to Waveney Park before. And even just on a random weekend when we're open, I mean, the number of people who come in who are asking about Waveney Park, what is this place? What happens here? We're kind of like, because we're the only building that, you know, is usually open on the weekend with people in there, we're sort of like the I don't know, welcome center, I think, for the park. But you know, they're asking where to go have lunch or what else there is to do. And so I think there are a lot of opportunities. It's great. We now have the culture guide, you know, there, which, you know, everyone, we're already like running low on those if there are more extras, but people love that. But I think if there was sort of a guide to even the restaurants downtown, I mean, you know, that would be great. I know there's the AutoCast and there's apps and stuff, but I think like people kind of like something they can pick up. So I don't know if that's a plan or if that's something that, you know, maybe you know, even just for the restaurants, I think it would be great to have a little one sheet. And there's probably other places around town that could, you know, the Glass House or places like that could give out something like that.
All right, yeah, we could definitely think about that. As you know, we've got Explore New Canaan, but if you're saying that people like to have even if we did it on just kind of a two-sided card or
Yeah,
something.
like a postcard or something.
Yeah, okay. All right, good.
Sorry, Laura.
Yeah,
Thank you, Hillary. Great job, everything that you've done. I just emailed you and Laura about the opportunity for the landlord and for yourself to get Art in the Windows at 112 to 118 Main Street, which is, with all due respect, the biggest eyesore in town. So I don't know if you've contacted them before, but I sent their contact details to you and Laura to
Great.
get Art in the Windows at that property.
Okay.
yeah, he has a local kind of maintenance guy or property.
Right,
manager
right. It's the worst scene in town. His Pepsi cans, I
yeah,
know them
yeah.
all. Steve is a great guy, but it's an opportunity to get Art in the Windows and help him beautify his building. It needs to be done. So please contact
And that's
them.
something that even outside of the sort of 3 weeks of Art in the Windows, I mean, that's also an opportunity for any other time too.
Right.
So yeah, we'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, every year, Hillary and her team and I look over the list of where it's been and we say, okay, this business is gone, but these new businesses have come in. And so they can, you know, constantly keep that list fresh and always be engaging new windows, which is great. All right, anything else for Hillary? Thank you, Hillary, very much.
Great.
That was really, really informative, and we're really excited to get going for the spring Art in the Windows, and I think the music day
Yes.
is really gonna
I
be
think
very
that
cool.
is going to be, it's going to be really great. And Ridgefield has done a great job with it just in the last year or two. So, I mean, there's a lot of good sort of models out there that we're going to try and follow. And just again, really, it will be the most successful with like the more people and organizations who get involved. So we're actually hoping in the next couple of weeks to have sort of an organizational meeting where, you know, we already have like New Canaan Music and School of Rock are on board, but just, you know, getting, you know, even like the New Canaan Town Band, I'm hoping will, you know, come out and do something. But I mean, there's a ton of opportunity, and I just think we want, you know, as much involvement and participation to really make it a really truly like town-wide event.
All right, great. Well, definitely bring me in on that meeting, and we can
Yeah.
work on tapping in to all our local businesses and stuff.
Great.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much. Have
Hillary.
a good rest
Thanks.
of your night.
Thanks.
Our friend BJ Flagg and her team have made huge progress. Everyone should have gotten a copy of it. I don't know, BJ, do you want to share the screen, or what do you think? You're muted.
Everybody's received the copy.
Yeah,
I'm going to be meeting with Laura and Tucker, and we have one more component that we're going to add to it that the town has delivered, and which is fantastic. We have a couple more photos that the town needs to provide, like, you know, pictures of the town hall and different things like that. And then we have to go through the painstakingly check everybody's email/links and all of that type of stuff. So if you get a minute, feel free to go, you know, just take a look, give me a little comment. If you have any additional photos that you think I could squeeze in somewhere, that would be lovely. I want to say a big shout out of thanks to everybody who did provide photographs. That was so helpful. And we took a whole lot from the chamber. Thanks, Laura. And so we're in a good spot. I think there's been some changes at the town hall, so we haven't had eyeballs that, you know, people who could really look through their sections. So we're hoping that we can do that in the next week or so, and we'll be in good shape.
all right, great. So if anyone's got any questions or comments, forward them over to BJ. And
Great
you know,
job. Thank you, BJ.
Yeah,
Sure.
you know, it really looks good. It's really come alive.
Yeah, well, Brock, I mean, some of the help that you gave us at the very beginning, oh my gosh, really saved so much time. I really, really appreciate it.
All good. The format looks awesome. I think it's great.
Yay, good, good. We're in the right direction.
Next on the agenda, Tucker wanted me to touch on, I don't know if you guys have heard about the potential Metro North shutdown for the summer. And basically the answer is there is no clear answer. So you've got Metro North and then you've got the DOT, the Connecticut DOT. And we're, you know, Tucker has been talking to them, and we've alerted our state reps, Lucy and Tom, and the feedback we get back from the DOT is we're talking, Metro North and the DOT are talking. No one's even clear what work needs to be done on the spur line, or, you know, for lack of a better word. So we don't really have an update. The conductors seem to have the most inside information, but we really don't know. But the good news is Tucker and Kevin have been speaking to Darien for Selectman's office to see if we could block off some parking spaces at Norotan Heights. I think Town Hall's goal is to get our commuters on the train before Stamford, because, you know, you could struggle your way down to Stamford and then not get a seat. So they are trying to be as proactive as possible with, unfortunately, not that much information. So we will obviously update people as as we get more information. Updates from any other committee members? Does anyone else want to share anything's going on in their spheres of influence about anything new? Greg, go ahead.
The Glass House Tour season opens on Monday, April 17th. Tickets are available online at theglasshouse.org. And our annual fundraiser is, as usual, scheduled for the second Saturday in June. So that's June 10th this year, and we'll look forward to seeing you all there.
Great. Are you guys doing any big art installations this summer, or?
I was afraid you were going to ask. We're carrying over a colored garden from the last two seasons, and we have something else in the works, but we haven't got a signed contract, so I'm not in a position to describe it yet.
All right, great. Nancy has a new exhibit up. What else would you like to tell us about that, and anything else you want to share with the group?
We have a big exhibit on the Silver Mine Art Colony that's been up for a while now, but that's up for another 2 months. And then our smaller exhibit called Forces of Change, Enslaved and Free Blacks of New Canaan just opened last Friday. And it's, I happen to think it's a fascinating subject. We had gotten a very good response, good turnout so far. One thing that I had talked to Tucker about that she asked me to mention is I went to a marketing meeting with the director of the Connecticut Office of Tourism, and they have started this, it's called ctvisit.org, and they have all kinds of opportunities for content to be uploaded. And what they're doing is they've got some kind of interactive map where if you say, I'm going to the Glass House, then everything else populates within a 10-mile radius about other stuff you can do. And so there's all kinds of ways that you can filter what you're wanting to do. So they were encouraging, it's free. What I can do, Laura, is I'll share the contact people with you, and you can distribute them to everybody if people have things that they want to. And I think it can be event driven, but it can be exhibits, it can be experiences. The Nature Center, I guess, is having their Maple Sugar Day on Saturday. That could be on there. I don't know if it is or not, but just, they'll take any kind of content and then they do certain blasts. But they had, they've got several 100,000 people visiting the site. So it's a really big site.
Yeah, they've always been really great about that, a store, a restaurant, a hotel, anybody can, create their own sort of account on the page. But they have updated the site. They've totally rebranded. For years it was Connecticut Still Revolutionary, and they've really rebranded. Obviously, the three divisions, Western Connecticut, Eastern and Southern, Central and Southern, all have their own marketing campaigns going on. So I think it's just a huge opportunity for us. They also have a great calendar.
This one you can't populate yourself. You have to send a press release and give it to these two people, and then they feed it where it should go, whether it should be art or theater or whatever it should be.
Do they still have that where you can create your own account on that site?
They didn't mention that. It was all, send your images, send your press releases, send your details to these people, and they will put it in where it's supposed to go.
Okay, good. Well, no, they've done a good job. I have a question for you. How many culture guides are left?
There's a lot left. I have to see who has not picked them up still, but there's certainly more. I'm going to give some more to Hillary, obviously, if she's getting that kind of traffic on the weekends. But if people want them, for offices, there's a realtor that keeps saying, when can I come by? And I say, we're open, you can come by anytime. And she's yet to come by. So my last email was, do you need me to drop them off? So I'm happy to, I don't want them in the closet. The whole point of this was to get them out into hands of people that might use them.
Okay.
No, I know. Are they at the library? Sorry.
Are they at
the library? Do you have them at the library, Nick?
The library has taken theirs, yes. I don't know if they had 25,000 visitors in 3 weeks, they probably don't have any left, but I can check with Lisa. Yeah.
I know. I spoke at the men's club in early January, and Nancy handed me, 40 or something, and they were all taken. So they were excited. Anyone else have something they would like to share? Nothing. Jack, you have anything?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I just, I don't know where to put this in the meeting, but in the people I was talking to this month, one person brought up and we may have talked about this, the Connecticut Cultural District. Have we ever talked about that?
We,
And,
yeah,
yeah.
we have, and Ridgefield did it. And Tucker and I went and had coffee with the woman in Ridgefield that did it. And it's a very cool concept. It is, you know, as with most things that are involved with state government and state approval, a lot of work. And this woman dedicated herself. It took months and months and months and months. So I think it's something that we would definitely be interested in, but we have to find someone that is the captain for it and, you know, knows. This woman's very involved in Ridgefield. She knew who to ask for what, for when, for all that sort of stuff. So it's definitely something we're interested in. We just don't have someone to take it on.
Is there anybody in that organization that can come and speak to us as a group so we can be more familiar with it?
Yeah, I'm sure we could reach out to her. She would probably, and what's nice is Tucker and I spoke to her year and a half ago, and she may have some feedback on what they feel having that designation has brought to downtown Ridgefield. So we can certainly reach out to her and have her talk to the group, and you guys can learn what we learned.
Yeah, because one observation I also want to make is that I just think that we have great institutions, you know, to develop tourism. But I wonder about the individual business creation around our tourism. So, you know, we have big players, but is there a way to develop more entrepreneurship around the opportunity that all of this, the things that we have for young entrepreneurs? So that also interests me. We haven't really created many tourist businesses, have we? I mean, the restaurants feed off the tourism. We have the Roger Sherman Inn. Yeah, there's a few things, but that's all. Just a thought of developing more small business that would, you know, benefit from the tourism we're developing.
I wouldn't, Susan, I don't know how you would define tourism, but I would suspect that a very high percentage of the commercial traffic in this town is from out of town. Not necessarily from someplace far away. It might be from Darien, Wilton, north of here, wherever, but it's generated by people who come here because this town is different from where they live and they like it. And so I would characterize that as tourism, and I would characterize then as very many of the businesses in this town depend on people shopping from out of town.
That's true.
Even the hardware store and the supermarket, everybody.
All right, well, that's an interesting concept. I would, you know, maybe we could figure out what kind of categories and see who we have in town that, you know, have the skills in particular categories that would be adjacent to, you know, would also benefit from getting in front of some of these visitors, you know, that all these great assets attract. So, all right.
Well, I would just say that I guess a lot of these businesses, knowing the sophistication of the applications they have in their transaction modems, they can tell you who comes from where. They're where their customers are from. So we don't need to develop that ourselves. I think these businesses, I think, would probably be able to tell you that my customers come from here or there or whatever. They capture all that information at point of sale.
Absolutely, with the credit card.
Everything, or their charge accounts or their personal relationships or whatever.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's why, you know, having the new movie theater is going to be so great, because we're going to bring so many people in from out of town, because Wilton, Darien have closed their theaters, and this is going to be such a unique experience. So, Yeah, I think
And-
that's
and I
interesting. I'll
think-
talk to some of the businesses about how they access, what their database tells them.
Yeah, but I mean, and also in the last year and a half, look at the difference in the amount of galleries that are open.
Yep.
Right? And I have to say that Nancy's work up at the, museum has spurred the ability to have even more galleries and the, acceptance of art and what's happening around. So I think it's already started to happen. It's happening.
Right.
Which is beautiful. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, it is 8:02. Does anyone have anything else they want to share? No, if not, I think we can adjourn. Thank you
All right,
very
all.
much. Nancy, I'll
Thank
see you
you.
tomorrow morning.
Okay, great, thanks.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.